Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for a cinematic roller coaster like no other. Today, we're delving deep into the heart-pounding world of Tamil cinema with a spine-tingling 2021 horror mystery film titled Lift. The story begins in the parking lot of an office building where someone commits the unthinkable. Let me guess, they forgot to validate their parking? A few days later, Guru, the new employee, comes in for his first day of work. He's quite the professional in the work he does and is hired as the project lead. Balaji, the CEO, praises him and offers him a promotion in the upcoming days, following which he is introduced to his new colleagues. Vineeth, who was expecting to be the next project lead, seems to be jealous, but congratulates Guru on his new job nonetheless. Vineeth bullies one of the new interns into making him feel like his life is over since he's joined the company, as the work pressure is that bad. Everyone on the team is always given a ton of work and a very short time to complete the task. If they fail, they will be grilled by their bosses and even suffer pay cuts, which terrifies the new intern. Guru then moves over to the HR's office to sign his papers. There he runs into Harini, the HR manager, who's also a new hire. Unfortunately, he's run into her in the past at an antique store. She requests him to click a few pictures of her, but he just ends up clicking his own selfies. Narcissism, the hottest new tactic for sweeping ladies off their feet. She makes fun of him and asks him again, at which point he drops her phone in an aquarium and runs away. Smooth move, Guru. Nothing attracts the ladies like destroying their property. In the present, Guru starts feeling guilty about his actions, and Harini recognizes him immediately. She gets the work done, and promises to punish him soon enough. Ooh, kinky. Guru seems to be a hard worker. He motivates his team and works very well with the others, bringing in coffee for everyone and even helping them out with their jobs. Harini is seen checking him out from afar, and it even looks like she's started to have a crush on him. Everyone at the company seems to love Guru, and they all go to the cafeteria to have their lunch together. Vineeth tries to bully him again by sending in the intern, but it doesn't work as Guru outsmarts them all. Later, when Guru goes in to print some documents, Harini tries to hit on him, but he outright rejects her, hurting her ego. Ouch, talk about killing the vibe. Guru's got rejection skills sharper than a paper shredder. Harini tried to turn on the charm, looking for love on Guru's arm. But he rejected her advance, uninterested in this office romance. At the end of the day, when it's time to leave the office, the CEO requests Guru to complete some more work and he accepts. He patiently sits down alone in the office and completes his work. The security guard leaves for dinner and leaves him an ID card of the previous employee so he can exit the building once he's done. As he sips on his cup of coffee, the cup moves by itself. He just assumes he's a little stressed, but just then feels a cold breeze on his neck. Yep, totally normal office occurrences. No need to be alarmed. At around 10 p.m., Guru decides to call it a night and enters the elevator on the 9th floor. He tries to exit at the parking level, but the elevator just halts on the 1st floor. He tries using it again, but this time the elevator doesn't budge. He exits the elevator and informs another security guard of the same, who tells him to use the stairs instead. He decides to give it one more shot, but this time it works and he gets off at the parking lot. Guru gets in his car, and follows the exit signs, and after a few confusing tries, realizes he's just going in circles. He gets out of his car to find a way out, and as he spots another exit sign, tries backing his car up. Unfortunately, his car keeps braking on its own, signaling that there is someone at the back, even though he's the only one left in the building. He again doesn't think much of this, but suddenly remembers that he left his phone back in the office. He goes back up to his desk and makes plans to meet his friends and celebrate his new job. He gets back onto the elevator on the 9th floor once more, and another man steps in along with him. This time it halts on the 3rd floor, and the man in the elevator seems to have vanished into thin air. He is startled with what just happened and decides to try and find the man. He walks out the elevator but doesn't see anyone. As he walks back, he hears weird noises and the footsteps of someone behind him. When he turns around, he spots the man disappear once again and freaks out. Guru is shocked to discover ghosts aren't great at small talk. Rude. Guru runs back into the elevator and tries to go back to the parking, but the buttons automatically switch to the 9th floor. He panics and tries to reverse it, at which point the power goes out. Using the torch on his phone, he cries out for help. Because nothing summons help faster than crying out in the dark. Solid plan, Guru. He starts hearing screeching noises around the elevator which tense up the situation even more. When his friends try to call him, he isn't able to pick up the call no matter how many times he tries. A few minutes later, he gives up hope and crouches down in the corner of the elevator. He hears something crawl on top of him, and just then his phone battery dies off. He cries out for help again, at which point the elevator starts moving. He sees a pair of shoes next to him moving on its own without a body attached to it. He tries covering his eyes like a little girl in hopes that it'll just go away and runs out of the elevator the second it stops. The old "can't see me, I can't see you" defense, tried and true ghost avoidance tactic. The ghost didn't get the memo that playing shoe pranks on people is so last season. He cries out for the security guards, jumps in front of the surveillance cameras, and even tries calling for help, but all in vain. He spots a couple on the adjacent building and screams out to them, but they just ignore him and close the blinds. As he walks around the 9th floor looking for a way out, an invisible force drags him down. He finds his way to the stairs, but no matter which way he goes, he always ends up on the 9th floor. When he attempts to use the fire exit, he spots the security guard smoking a cigarette and cries out to him. As the security guard tries to open the door, something inside him changes. He starts smiling and pulls out a blade with which he slices his own throat as Guru watches in horror. Not knowing what else he can do, he gets back to his office and hides under his desk waiting for daybreak. Suddenly he hears someone knock on the door. He frightfully goes to see who it is, and out comes Harini. She starts blaming Guru for locking her up in the closet. She thinks he did it out of spite because she slapped him earlier. If it was me, she'd be thrown off the building, but looks like Guru forgave her for it. She decides to leave and doesn't let Guru follow her. He tries to stop her from going into the elevator, but she just doesn't seem to listen. He frightenedly gets in with her, but she doesn't let him utter a word. The elevator automatically stops at the 2nd floor, and no matter how many times they try, it doesn't seem to budge. Seriously, who knew elevators had commitment issues? Harini gets out, and Guru decides to follow her. When she tries to use the stairs, she is shocked to see Guru in front of her because she just keeps coming back to the same floor. She finally realizes that the building is haunted and attempts to find the other security guard. Took you long enough to realize the obvious. They get back onto the elevator, but it halts once again. Harini tries to call for help, but in vain. She then comes up with another idea and tries to contact the spirit in the building. She tries a few times, but the spirit doesn't respond. Just then the elevator starts moving rapidly and opens up on the 6th floor. As they look around for a way out, they start hearing terrifying noises in the corner. They both hide under a desk, and as they do so, things start flying around the room. We watch as some disfigured feet fly past them, but luckily leave them alone. When things cool down, they walk out, but the printer spits out papers letting them know that the spirits are aware of their location. Wow, even ghosts are into pranks these days. They start freaking out and run for their lives, at which point they run into the security guard. The security guard is unpleasant and starts hitting on Harini. When Guru informs him about the death of the other security guard, he goes in to check for himself. While the two wait outside, they hear a whip, and as they rush in to check it out, they see that he has committed the unthinkable too. Nothing helps you quickly get over a coworker's violent death like immediately joining them. Solid logic. The two bolt straight out of there and enter a dark room. They try to find their way out, but only Guru manages to get to the hallway. He calls out to Harini and decides to go back in, but spots her by the edge of a window. She says she isn't able to bear it anymore, and Guru tries to stop her, but she proceeds to jump off the building. As Guru cries in the corner, Harini comes up to him from the other side. He is shocked to see her but realizes that she's telling the truth. The spirit took her form to try and convince them to commit the unthinkable too, just like with the security guards. The two decide against it and give the elevator one more shot. This time they end up on the 5th floor. They walk over to the cafeteria, and Guru makes Harini promise that they will stick together through it all. Suddenly the television turns on, and they watch a news report of their building catch on fire. They also see themselves deceased, which means that the spirit is predicting the future. They both realize that if they don't find a way out, they are as good as dead and try to escape through the fire exit. They get to the end of it, but unfortunately, find no way out. When they try to get out of the room though, they get locked in. The two of them sit down and have deep talks about how they wish their life turned out, but just then Harini disappears from there. Using a lighter, Guru scours the room and finds Harini dangling upside down from the ceiling. He begs the spirit to let her go and gets ready to sacrifice his own life for her. Nothing says true love like offering to sacrifice yourself to an evil spirit. Luckily, the spirit lets go of her and allows them to leave the room. They get back onto the elevator and realize that there's no point selecting a floor as the spirit will just do it for them. As they wait, the spirit comes charging at them, and just before it could reach them, the elevator door closes and starts moving to the 9th floor. Phew, saved by the bell. Or in this case, the elevator door. Guru sees that he's still holding the blade that he dropped off earlier. Every time he lets go of it, it comes back to his hand. Suddenly, he starts charging towards Harini. He uses all his strength to stop himself from hurting her. Just as he comes very close to doing so, the elevator stops, and they get out. Rude ghost, interrupting his panic attack like that. Well, can't blame the ghost for wanting some company. It's lonely haunting an elevator all day. They realize that no matter how much they try to leave the building, they always end up on the 9th floor, meaning the spirit is trying to convey a message. They go through the events of the day and realize that the CEO had given Harini 2 documents to shred. When she tried to do it, she passed out, and she got locked in there. The two go in and find the documents, which is when they realize that a month ago there was an accident in the elevator which caused the death of Sundar, the previous project lead. They then move on to the surveillance room, and Guru instructs Harini to wait there and inform him about the whereabouts of the spirit. She does as she's told and guides Guru through the building, but suddenly spots the spirit near him. She decides to try and contact the spirit to get it off his back, and as she does so, it enters into the room with her. She uses a Snapchat filter to find the spirit and sees it approach her from the back. Harini uses the blade to attack it, but unfortunately, it turns out to be Guru, and she slices his neck. She cries and begs him to wake up, but just then the real Guru shows up. As they hug each other, the spirits surround them, and the two are pushed away. They gather all their courage and run back to the elevator, but just before they could enter, Harini starts trembling. She gets possessed by the spirit and runs away from Guru. He tries to stop her and ends up tying her to the table. Nothing spices up a first date like a demonic possession and a little light bondage. The spirit speaks out for the first time and threatens both of them. Guru realizes that the only way out is for them to die, and so earlier, he stacked the elevator with a bunch of bean bags and cushions, and even cut the lines holding the elevator up. He lights up a joint and smacks Harini on the head. He then proceeds to light the room on fire and carry her to the elevator. He repeatedly jumps on the floor, causing the last line to break and for them to come crashing down. The old get high, knock your date unconscious, and jump to your deaths routine. A true romantic classic. With spirits and blades, it's quite a show. In the end, they reap what they sow. Elevator crash, spirits at bay. In the end, they find a way. Harini makes it out alive and is seen hugging the body of Guru, begging him to wake up. The truth is finally revealed in a dream. The previous project lead, Sundar, was in love with Tara and had gotten engaged to her. Balaji, the CEO who also had feelings for Tara, decided to take it out on Sundar. When Sundar goes to invite him for the wedding, Balaji fires him from the company and blacklists his resume so that he may never get another job ever again. Sundar begs him for another chance, but the security guards just drag the poor man out. Having bills to pay and loans to fulfill, he starts freaking out. Tara tries to cheer him up, but at this point, Sundar is too disappointed to listen. He goes into the elevator with a blade and slits his own throat, ending his life. The company covered up this incident as an accident to save face, and when Tara came to know of what happened, she confronted Balaji. Instead of empathizing with her feelings, Balaji tries hitting on her instead, and when she rejects him, he threatens to fire her too. The security guards chase after her, but Tara locks herself in the room and commits the unthinkable. They then drag her body and throw it off the building to make it look like she slipped and fell to her death. Office romance, always ending so well. All this was witnessed by Guru, at which point the paramedics managed to revive him and save his life. Tara tried to reason with this evil man, but Balaji wouldn't give a damn. He threatened to fire Tara too, for caring about her love so true. A few days later, when Guru comes to his senses, he informs the police and the media of the events that took place in the company. He quits his job by lashing out at his boss and realizes that even without a salary, he can still earn a living by starting a small shop. Guru witnessed all of this drama, as Tara and Sundar met their trauma. He told the cops every detail, so Balaji would end up in jail. The movie ends as we watch Balaji get into his car. As he tries to start it, the spirit gets into the car with him, ending his life. In the end, Balaji met his fate, as the spirit sealed his evil fate. Karma came back around in the end, and that's a lesson for every bad friend. That's all folks, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.